Today, our topic is how to stay consistent even when you don't feel like it. Consistency is one of the most powerful tools for success, yet it is also one of the hardest things to maintain. Life is full of ups and downs, and there will be days when you feel motivated, and days when you feel like giving up. But the key to achieving your goals, no matter how big or small, lies in your ability to stay consistent even when you don't feel like it. So, how do you do that? Let's break it down into simple, actionable steps. First, understand that consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. Many people think that to be consistent, they need to be perfect. But this is not true. Life is messy, and there will be days when you miss a workout, skip a task, or fall short of your expectations. What matters is that you don't let one bad day turn into a bad week or a bad month. Instead, focus on getting back on track as soon as possible. Think of consistency as a habit, not a one-time effort. Habits are built through repetition, and the more you repeat an action, the easier it becomes over time. Start small. If your goal is to exercise every day, don't start with a 2-hour workout. Start with 10 minutes. If you want to write a book, don't pressure yourself to write a chapter every day. Start with a paragraph, or even a sentence. The idea is to make the task so easy that you can't say no to it. Over time, these small actions will add up, and you'll find yourself doing more without even thinking about it. Another important aspect of staying consistent is understanding your why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? What is the deeper reason behind it? When you have a strong why, it becomes easier to push through the tough days. For example, if your goal is to get fit, your why might be to have more energy to play with your kids, or to live a longer, healthier life. On days when you don't feel like exercising, remind yourself of your why. This will help you stay focused and motivated. It's also important to create a routine that works for you. Consistency thrives in structure. When you have a clear plan for your day, it's easier to stay on track. For example, if you want to read more, set aside a specific time each day for reading. It could be in the morning before work, during your lunch break, or before bed. The key is to make it a non-negotiable part of your day. Over time, this routine will become second nature, and you'll find it easier to stay consistent. Another tip is to track your progress. When you can see how far you've come, it gives you a sense of accomplishment and motivates you to keep going. This could be as simple as marking an X on a calendar every day you complete your task, or keeping a journal where you write down your achievements. Seeing your progress in front of you can be incredibly motivating, especially on days when you feel like giving up. It's also important to be kind to yourself. Consistency doesn't mean being hard on yourself or punishing yourself for mistakes. It's about making a commitment to yourself and doing your best to honor that commitment. If you miss a day or make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Instead, remind yourself that you're human and that mistakes are a part of the process. The important thing is to keep going. One of the biggest challenges to consistency is dealing with distractions and temptations. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions, from social media to Netflix to endless notifications on our phones. To stay consistent, you need to create an environment that supports your goals. This might mean turning off your phone while you work, setting boundaries with people who distract you, or creating a dedicated space for your tasks. The less you have to fight against distractions, the easier it will be to stay consistent. Another powerful tool for staying consistent is accountability. When you share your goals with someone else, it creates a sense of responsibility and motivation to follow through. This could be a friend, a family member, or even an online community. Find someone who shares your goals or who is willing to support you, and check in with them regularly. Knowing that someone else is counting on you can be a powerful motivator to stay consistent. It's also important to remember that consistency is a marathon, not a sprint. Many people start strong but lose steam after a few weeks or months. This is often because they try to do too much too soon. Instead of going all out in the beginning, focus on building sustainable habits that you can maintain over the long term. This might mean slowing down, taking breaks, or adjusting your goals as needed. The key is to find a pace that works for you and stick with it. Another key to staying consistent is to focus on the process, not just the outcome. It's easy to get caught up in the end result and forget about the journey. But the truth is, the journey is where the growth happens. When you focus on the process, you learn to enjoy the small victories along the way. For example, if your goal is to run a marathon, don't just focus on the finish line. Celebrate the days when you run a little farther or a little faster than before. These small wins will keep you motivated and remind you why you started in the first place. Finally, remember that consistency is a skill, and like any skill, it takes time to develop. You won't become consistent overnight, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep practicing, even when it's hard. Over time, you will find that consistency becomes a part of who you are, and you will be amazed at what you can achieve. So, the next time you don't feel like doing something, remind yourself of your why. Take a small step forward and trust the process. Consistency is the key to unlocking your potential, and with time and effort, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. In conclusion, staying consistent, even when you don't feel like it, is not easy, but it is possible. Start small, focus on your why. Create a routine, track your progress. Be kind to yourself, minimize distractions, find accountability, pace yourself, enjoy the process, and remember that consistency is a skill that takes time to develop. Life will always have its challenges, but with consistency, you can overcome them and achieve your goals. So take a deep breath, commit to showing up every day, and trust that your efforts will pay off in the end. You've got this.